Wrong is wrong, no matter who's doing it.
Right Along Live.
I won't be a social activist or keyboard advocate, as they call me sometimes, if I didn't ask this question. It's a burning question that is on social media, and I would like you to address it. I'll ask a direct question. I'll appreciate a direct answer as well. The question is, it has to do with former ministers or ministers of government. Is it normal that former ministers or ministers of government have their phone bills or any utility bills paid by government, by extension, the taxpayers of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique? Is that a normal practice?
Thank you.
First of all, let me thank Junior. The issue of the traffic and the problems on the road is a serious one. The brother raised a question about use of phone. The answer to your question, it is not a practice. It is fundamentally wrong. So it is not supposed to be allowed. And it's not just ministers. You have public servants who left the public service with a phone and still have it. Well, clearly that can't be right. You have people who are maybe in the diplomatic circles who have left the diplomatic circles and still carrying a diplomatic passport. And in some cases, I'm not sure they might be using it. I'm talking very openly here. So, but the problem is this. Through successive governments, not just this government, this has happened in the past. Many of these things have happened. The question you ask yourself, how is this supposed, how did it happen? And why is it continue to happen? That's the issue. And we have to be honest with ourselves. And one thing you know about me, I never duck my responsibility as Prime Minister. Something happens in government that I'm the first person that take blame is me, because I'm the head. I'm not like certain people or other leaders where they pass the blame on everybody else. Accept your role and then look for the other people that may have been a mistake too. But let me tell you this. The accounting, so the government must take responsibility. The leadership of the NNP, the leadership of the NDC should, because it happened a lot on the NDC where thousands of dollars have been spent on people who should not have been, bills that should not be paid. It has happened and it continues to happen. We have to cut the neck of this fast. Now, so I accept my role. The government has to accept the role. The Ministry of Public Utilities, who is responsible for the question of telephone, for example, have to accept responsibility. But the question is, who is the accounting officer in the government? It's not the politician. It is the, no, my friend, no, my friend. I just said I accept my role as leader for what has happened. So I have not ducked responsibility, my brother. I want to make it very clear. But the government minister does not touch money in the public service. The public servant is the accounting officer in the public service. We have to get it. If an inquiry is held on any government department in the country, the person that has to go and give account for what happens is not the politician, you know. It is the permanent secretary and the accounting officers. And I always keep telling public servants, you are the responsible. If you see a minister doing something, you have a right, even if it's the prime minister, to put it, stop it, or expose him or her. Don't be afraid, they can't do anything. No politician can touch you for doing your work in protecting the taxpayers, because he would be a dead politician when it goes out there. But you don't say, because the person is close to the prime minister or close to the minister, you don't do it. Wrong is wrong, no matter who's doing it. So I'm saying that's another area of weakness. So I've accepted the government leadership, the political leadership role in solving that problem. And while I'm here, aggressive action is taken. What came out is now taking place. In, even while I'm here, the political directorate is dealing with that issue, calling in people and ensuring that we cut the neck of this thing. So I've accepted a leadership role, a political role. I now tell you the public servants must take responsibility also. They can't just say, well, this and that. That's their responsibility. But the third one, we have had a contract with the public, with the service providers, DGCL in this case. where we sat with them and agree on that there's a limit that you should not allow. So we want to know, how come somebody, not those in government alone, somebody who is not in government, his bill could be running thousands of dollars, when in fact we're supposed to have a max. So why didn't you report it, something, or stop it because we have a contract with you? So what I have done here tonight is to share the blame around for the problem. And I'm saying, in the end, the taxpayers are the ones that lose. And all of us must do something about it urgently. So this is the situation. It pained me. And I said already, because we know one day, and you know how it came about, how the information came out? It is me, you know. Somebody gave me a wire. So I went in there. Said, tell me, I want a copy of the bills that government paying. That is when this thing came out, you know. If I did not take steps, this thing would never come out. And every day the tax bill. But why should be Prime Minister? I should not be in this. I don't look at telephone bills. I don't know what telephone bills come to the government. I should have time to look at bills. You're running a country, you're traveling here, you're doing this. You have the Ministry of Finance to run, you have this to run, and you have to look at telephone bills at the end of the month? Well, my God, come on. Nah, this doesn't make any sense. So I'm saying that this is just a symptom of the problem. Now, if you left the government service and you're no longer government, what you're doing, you know you have a phone, you're using it, you know the government paying. How could you sit there and accept that? You must have a conscience. So I'm just saying that, colleagues and Grenadians, friends of Grenada, this is the kind of thing. You know, it has happened in other countries, you know. People have lost their jobs on the basis of this. It is just not fair, but some of us have to have our conscience. You know, if somebody was working with the government, and you said minister, George is not minister. In fact, the problem is not, most of the thing is not ministers, you know. It is people who are working with the government and left. Generally speaking, they're not politicians. Very few cases, the politicians. This is not a small thing, it's a big thing. It's a lot of people involved. But you're hearing a couple names being called because they're connected to a politician. So that's what happened in the small societies. They make it a political issue. It's a much more serious issue. As I said before, different governments has to take responsibility for all this. So I'm not casting blame on any specific government. They got to take responsibility, my first. But when I asked the question, tell me the Prime Minister bill, you know what it turned out? The Prime Minister bill is one of the smallest. Yeah, that's a fact. It should be one of the largest, because I'm the one who travels regularly. And I know sometimes I go to Trinidad, and I reach in Trinidad, I go in the VIP lounge, try to reach home, I can't make a call. They cut me off. But somebody not working with the government could be making thousands of dollars a telephone. Something ain't right. You see the problem?
I guess the next quick question.
So,
sorry to extend it.
I really expected to hear this question.
Right.
And it's something I will not duck because I feel strongly about it. And I'm not going to duck responsibility, but I feel the blame has to be shed around, and we as a country must take steps and deal with it effectively once and for all.
So are we saying that steps are being taken to fix the problem immediately?
Absolutely. Well, we can't continue with this.
Right.
We have to deal with it. We have a responsibility to the taxpayers. Absolutely.
Right along wife.